Watching Good Day Siouxland with Nick Wilson and meteorologist Ethan Foreman. From KCAU 9 News, this is Good Day Siouxland.
Well, good morning. It's 6:45 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Nick Wilson.
And I'm Ethan Foreman.
And overall, we've got a pretty pleasant morning for today.
Yeah, not too bad to start the day, but we got some rain chances later. Hopefully, we can get some out of it. We certainly need it. Here's a look at our Total Motors camera in Lamar's, Iowa, where we have lots of clouds and hardly any wind out there this morning. Temperatures right now are sitting in the 50s to start the day. Right now at 50 degrees from Cherokee all the way down to Denison and all the way up to Spencer and Estherville, 52 for Sioux City, Lamar's, and Canton, 51 in Norfolk and Wayne, and 57 in Storm Lake and Mapleton. We saw highs yesterday climbing into the 80s for most of us, with warmest conditions held generally into South Dakota. We'll see a lot more clouds today, though, as we see highs just a couple degrees cooler in those upper 70s and low 80s. But we do have some hot weather on the way, including for Mother's Day. Those details coming up in your 9 on 9 forecast after Stray of the Days, still waiting Wednesday.
Well, speaking of the weather, South Dakota Representative Dusty Johnson is voicing his concern over cuts to the National Weather Service. Those cuts come from the Department of Government Efficiency, and they're already having impacts on the Rushmore state. The Weather Service has announced it's cutting back or even eliminating weather balloon launches in some areas.
Rapid City is not releasing any weather balloons anymore, and Aberdeen is only releasing once a day. Those weather balloons are a critically important data point, along with satellites and radar, to help us understand what's really going on with severe weather.
Johnson adds he supports most of what DOGE is trying to accomplish through the funding cuts, but he says they missed the mark in this case. He hopes to see staffing at Aberdeen and Rapid City returned to the previous levels. Well, in lighter news now, the town of Holstein, Iowa is gearing up for a unique celebration. The town's zip code is 51025, or as locals call it, nickel dime quarter. This Saturday is May 10th, 2025, or 5/10/25, the same as the zip code. So the community is planning a zip code party that day to celebrate the once-in-a-century event. They'll have kids' activities, food trucks, a beer garden, a Stein holding contest, live music, and they'll even bury a time capsule.
We have photographers that will be taking pictures all day long of all the activities, and eventually we will fill this time capsule with the Steins and the t-shirts and things, and we will be burying it right in front of our post office.
The time capsule will be unearthed in 25 years on May 10th, 2050. The fun begins at 1 p.m. this Saturday. Well, meanwhile, if you have a number 9 birthday coming up, KCAU 9 would love to help you celebrate. We're celebrating the 9s each week right here on Good Day Siouxland. So if you or a loved one is turning 9, 99, or any 9 in between, well, we want to hear about it. Every Thursday morning, we'll share our list of birthday shout-outs, and one lucky person will take home a birthday gift from one of our sponsors. So if you want to be featured, go to SiouxlandProud.com and click on Celebrating the 9s under the Contest tab to enter by Tuesdays at noon. Now it's time we meet today's Stray of the Day, and it's Still Waiting Wednesday. Every Wednesday we feature a pet at Sioux City Animal Adoption and Rescue who's been waiting quite some time to find a forever home.
That's right, and this is Koa, a 1 to 2 year old male French Bulldog Pug mix that weighs about 15 pounds. He was originally adopted from the rescue, but had to be returned due to no fault of his own. The rescue says he's a goofy little guy with a big personality. He also gets along well with people and other animals. Koa is available for adoption now.
And if you lost your pet, you're looking to adopt, or you'd like to sponsor a pet for adoption, you can visit the rescue's website, head over to SiouxCityAnimalRescue.com. And Koa sure looks like a nice dog. They mentioned he's a little goofy, and you can kind of pick up on that a little bit in the photo.
Yeah, you sure can, and not a bad day to be goofy outside as long as you obviously do it responsibly, of course. As we see temperatures today climbing into the upper 70s and low 80s, but as we look on Stormcast here, or satellite radar here in just a second here, we'll see that conditions will be showing clouds already moving in across the area with that cold front to our south, and we'll see a lot of clouds overhead for the daytime today as we see a shower chance moving in later on in the day. By 2 p.m. or so, we'll start to see a line of showers develop all the way from Illinois and Michigan all the way through Iowa, Nebraska, into Colorado and Wyoming. So a long stretch of this rain, and you'll notice that this tracks east to west, so not everybody is going to see rain from this. It's not going to be widespread, it's not going to be much, and it's not going to last long. Severe weather is also not anticipated, and we'll see those conditions clearing out as we head into the overnight hours with the rain ending, and then we'll see those clouds even clearing out as we head into Thursday with sunshine returning from east to west. The low pressure system stationed a couple hundred miles to our south, so that's why we continue to see these clouds drifting from east to west as we are on the northern edge of this low. So this is counterclockwise around the low pressure system. That's why this is unusual, and we're seeing this move from east to west. Clearing skies move back in Thursday night as high pressure moves to our east into Friday, and rainfall amounts, again, nothing impressive, as we'll see most of us under 1/10 of an inch. A few spots perhaps could get 1/4 of an inch. For today's forecast, high of 82, still warm and cloudier with those afternoon showers, dropping down to 52 tonight with those showers mainly before 10 p.m. then clearing skies after about 2 a.m. We'll see temperatures warming up as we head past Thursday. Thursday looking nice, but after that looking hot for that Holstein zip code party or Mother's Day weekend, as we see highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. A little bit of shower activity by Wednesday, cooling us down to 79 again by Thursday, May 15.
Now we turn to sports. There's more excitement from the USHL draft for the Sioux City Musketeers. Anthony Mitchell has those details and more, all right here in your morning sports wrap.
Good morning, Siouxland. The Musketeers kicked off the USHL Phase 1 draft on Monday with the selection of forward Daniil Boutine at 13th overall on a night featuring the selection of Sioux City native Houston Smith in the 10th round, becoming the first Sioux City native drafted by the Musketeers in the Phase 1 era. But the draft far from over, as yesterday the Musketeers continued its business into the Phase 2 draft. In the midst of the draft delegations, the Muskies made a trade, sending defenseman Cole Tuminaro to the Chicago Steel in exchange for forward William Tomko. Tomko comes to Siouxland with 2 years of USHL experience, scoring 10 goals in 64 games for the Steel. Tuminaro played in just 1 game for Sioux City this season and missed the remainder of the year due to injury. Over 2 seasons, Tuminaro played 43 games for Sioux City. The move led right into the draft for the Musketeers as the Green and Gold took part in the Phase 2 draft with an opportunity to fill needs for next season's roster.
Yeah, so obviously it's an evaluation process, but I would say the majority of players you're seeing drafted today in Phase 2 would be guys you'll see kind of in the lineup for us this year, where the guys yesterday are probably a year or two away. So it's that evaluation process. We're looking for the best players at every position, right? So it's the guys that are ready and can make a contribution are the guys that we're going to be selecting come June and then eventually in September.
Sioux City kicked off the Phase 2 draft with the 8th overall pick, taking defenseman John Alex Banks out of New Jersey. The Muskies followed that pickup with a selection of left winger Elias Straum-Vatne from Norway. In total, the Musketeers selected 19 players in the Phase 2 draft. The full list of Phase 2 draft selections on our website, SiouxlandProud.com. Last night, simply a terrific night of MRAC soccer action. Kicked off at Sergeant Bluff Luton, where the Warriors girls team aimed to take home the win on Senior Day, hosting Sioux City East. The Black Raiders 21-0 in the series dating all the way back to 2011. SBL aims to snap its 5-match losing skid. Visitors knocking on the door early in the first. Great look here from Alina Nolasco. Turned aside by SBL. Carly Rooney, big save there, one of a handful from the junior captain. Black Raiders getting it right back. Jordan Wilson with a shot. You bet. Her 4th of the season puts East up 1-0. Black Raiders score again to make it 2-0. They're on the corner kick, and just minutes later finds the foot of Gracie Nuno. Her second goal of the season puts the East up by 3. Black Raiders take it from there with a 6-1 victory. And finally, the Buena Vista Beavers men's basketball program has named Jeff Horner as its new head coach. Horner comes to BVU after a 7-year stint as the head coach at Truman State, earning 121 wins and a pair of Great Lakes Valley Conference Coach of the Year honors. The Mason City native named Iowa Mr. Basketball in 2002, taking his talents to the University of Iowa, where he was a 2-time All-Big Ten third-team selection and Big Ten Tournament MVP in 2006. Horner, who is a member of the Iowa High School Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2014, will begin his duties immediately, according to the university. That's your look at sports. Have a good day, Siouxland.
Now let's take a look at this morning's top stories, what you need to know before you go. Real ID requirements take effect today. If you still have not updated your ID, there is one piece of good news this morning. The Department of Homeland Security says you'll still be able to board domestic flights, but you'll have to go through additional security and identity checks. Officials at the Sioux Gateway Airport tell us, with just 2 flights a day, they're not anticipating any big issues. They have been keeping an eye out for the Real ID star on people's licenses recently, though.
So for the majority of the passengers that we have selectively just randomly checked, a lot of them do have the Real ID. There's probably 1 or 2 that did not, that we know of, but they've been reminded that they do need that Real ID on their card.
According to officials, 81% of American travelers already have Real IDs. Elsewhere, the city of Spencer is holding a town hall update on the community's flood recovery this evening. The city hired a consulting service to complete a comprehensive review of last summer's historic flooding and develop a plan for responding to future disasters. The findings will be shared at tonight's town hall at the Sacred Heart Church Parish Hall at 1111 4th Avenue in Spencer. That starts at 6 p.m. And finally, patients at Unity Point Health St. Luke's might have spotted some firefighters out their windows. That's because hospital officials and first responders were training for emergency situations. So City Fire Rescue deployed their 105-foot ladder truck at the hospital yesterday. The goal was to reach the 6th floor, where the intensive care unit is located. Hospital officials wanted to practice ways to get critical care patients out of the building in the case of an emergency, and the drill was successful.
We are able to reach those windows that we need to be with the way the truck is currently setting, because our parking lot more than likely would have vehicles in it. And also they were able to see they're able to go all the way to the roof, which that would help them out in a fire suppression area if we would have something with that. So it just allows them guys to see what their capabilities are.
The fire departments from North Sioux City and Sergeant Bluff also went to the hospital to run the exact same drill. And it sure looked like a nice day to run a drill like that yesterday. And today looking all right, save for some rain chances.
Yeah, we do have a few rain chances and more clouds today. It will be a couple degrees cooler, but it will also be a little bit muggier as we see high temperatures in the low 80s and dropping down to 52 tonight as we see those showers mainly before 10 p.m., then clearing skies afterward. High temperature of 79 on Thursday with a little bit more sunshine as clouds clear out from east to west Thursday afternoon. High temperatures back in the upper 80s to low 90s as we head through the weekend. So if you're going to be outside doing yard work or doing things for Mother's Day, maybe going to that Holstein zip code party, make sure that you drink some water and put on that sunscreen. You're going to certainly need it this weekend.
Yeah, quite the stretch of high 80s, even chance for low 90s in that forecast.
Looking hot.
Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.